You could have gone to Goldman Sachs, which is a great firm. You chose to go work for Sandy Weil. Why did you do that?
Sandy, he had a small brokerage firm that he sold to American Express at the time. And I found he was kind of down to earth. He had offered me to go to Shearson, their investment bank. I said no, because I'd offers from Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Lehman. I said, I'd learn a lot more of these other places than at Shearson. They eventually called me up, kind of liked me. I was a Baker Scholar, which was important to him. And I said, why don't you just come here and be my assistant? You'll learn a lot. I don't know what's going to happen. And so American Express, he lasted there about 3 more years. But you did learn a lot.
So when he left, he was...
when he left, I left with him. I was offered a bunch of jobs to stay and stuff like that, but he said, we're going to find something, build something great. And so we took over this little company called Commercial Credit up in Baltimore here. One of my babies was born in Sinai Hospital, and I moved down here, and we took this little company. It had a consumer finance thing, like 7 other little companies, including like a leasing company in Israel, a small international bank that made loans which all went bankrupt, called Less Developed Country Loans, a property casualty company, a small life insurance company, and that company is the same company that became Citi. And over those 12 years, we bought, so these names you'll recognize: Primerica, Smith Barney, Shearson, Solomon Brothers, Aetna Property Casualty, Travis Life, Travis Property Casualty, and it was a conglomerate. We did a good job running them. We did a good job for shareholders, and merged it with Citi. And so it was a hell of a run, and then he fired me.
So what?
When he did that, a year later, I called him up and said, I called him. He didn't call me, just so you know. I said, Sandy, it's time to break bread. And we met at the Four Seasons restaurant, and I wanted to do it privately. He said, no, we'll meet at the Four Seasons restaurant. It was on the front page of the FT, Dimon, Weil have lunch, with Civil War in Chechnya. I'm thinking, this is like, anyway, he was a little nervous, and I said, Sandy, we're not going to spend any time in the past. All I want to say is you did the wrong thing for the company. I made a lot of mistakes too. And here's some of the mistakes I made. After I gave him the mistakes I made, he said, thank you for sharing that with me. We had a very nice lunch. It's now quite clear he did the wrong thing for the company, and life goes on.
So you were in a small office, I recall, at the Seagram's building. You rented a small office there.
After I got fired, you mean?
Right, after you were fired, you had a small office there. I came to see you.
I was fired. I mean, this shows you how stupid corporate America gets when you have, the company had been set up that we had co-chairman and co-CEO John Reed and Sandy Weil. I was going to be the president and run the global corporate investment bank and other jobs. Because of turmoil among management, deals are very tough. We had tri-heads of the global corporate bank, co-heads of asset management, co-heads of consumer, and all the staff units, risk, finance, and technology, would report to me. Instead, all the staff units reported jointly to Sandy and John. When they did that, I said to them, you guys are crazy. This will destroy the company. The second you do this, people are going to be building trenches and stockpiling ammunition. And by the time you two guys figure it out, a lot of good people have left the company, not realizing I'd be the first casualty, by the way. But they were so, and they kept on saying, well, it works for me, it works for me. And I kept on saying, it doesn't matter if it works for you. It matters if it works for the clients and the employees. It works for me. And so when you hear CEOs say it works for me, you should question their intelligence a little bit because it's not the way you should look at business. It's what works for the client ultimately.